All right, let's find ourselves a house. Cheap houses. What? 65 grand for a house? I'll take it. Whoa, cowboys, slow down. There's a reason why the price point is so low. There's some stuff in the fine print you really need to pay attention to, so stick around and I'll explain why. See you on the other side. What's going on, guys? This is Patrick Longley from Keller Williams, and today we're going to go over the difference between leasehold and fee simple, and that's the main reason why you might be seeing properties for like 65 grand here on Zillow, and there's a real important reason why it is priced so low. And the reason why is because it's a leasehold property, not a fee simple property. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go over the differences, the pros and cons, and when it would be a good idea to go with the leasehold property and when it would not be a good idea. So for us to fully understand the difference between fee simple and leasehold, let's look at each one as an individual, okay? So now, fee simple. This is 90% of what you'll see nationwide when it comes to real estate. Now here in Hawaii, we do have a large portion of leasehold properties, and that's why you might see properties that are for 100 grand, 135 grand, what have you. Very cheap compared to what you see out there in the market when it comes to a home that you actually own outright. And that's the main difference. When you purchase a fee simple home, you own the land and the house. When you purchase a leasehold property, you own the house but not the land. You're essentially renting or leasing the land, and depending on how long that lease is, really will reflect what the price is. All right, guys, so let's take a look at this property that actually one of my clients showed me and called me. They were super excited about it. They said, we found this house, it's 135 grand, we want to get it. Can you look into it for me? And as soon as I heard that, I knew right away, it's most likely leasehold. But I said, let me look into it and see how long the lease is and see if the numbers make sense for you to actually purchase it. And I'll explain later when it makes sense to purchase a leasehold property. But in the meantime, if you do see a property that's this low, it most likely is leasehold. And what you're gonna wanna do is figure out how long is that lease and how much is it a month to rent essentially the land, okay? So if you scroll down to the bottom, usually in the description area, it will tell you how long it is until that lease expires. Now we can see here that this lease expires in 2027. So more or less it expires in 7 years, 7-8 years. So what does that mean? That means that when this expires, you basically have two options. First one is you basically just have to give the house back because you don't own the land, right? So you basically have to give the house back after 7 years. The other option is sometimes the owner that has that lease is willing to sell the lease, but that price can be very high. It's based on what the land is valued at. And we can see down here, just based on the tax assessment, the land is worth $377,000. So that's the tricky part here, is that you need to find out, even if you start looking at a home, is there an option to purchase the lease after it expires? And how long is it till that lease actually expires? Because if it's a long time, it might make sense to buy it and you can maybe use it as an investment property, rent it out, and if the cash flow is there and it covers the expenses, it might not be a bad idea. But in this case, it's 7 years till it expires. So I highly suggested to my client that it really doesn't make sense. I highly suggest that you be careful when you see these properties that are very cheap, and the things that you want to look at is how long is it till the lease expires and what is the monthly lease rent that you have to pay. So that is something you guys want to pay attention to, and that is leasehold in a nutshell and what it means. So if you guys have any other further questions, feel free to reach out to me and I'd be happy to help. So as you guys can see, yes, it's a very affordable priced home, but from an investment standpoint, it's not really the best option for you because like you saw on this property, this thing is done in about 7 years and you basically have to give the house back. And what's the point of buying a house if you have to give it back after 7 years? You might as well just rent something until you're save enough cash to actually buy a fee simple property. Now there are some cases where this would be a good strategy for an investor. Let's say you find a property that's 200 grand and it's leasehold and it doesn't expire for 15-20 years. you can get that property for a very low price. The lease probably isn't too bad, and you could probably find somebody to rent it and have a positive cash flow, but you wouldn't make any money after you sold it, essentially, because as that lease expiration date gets smaller and smaller and smaller, your property actually depreciates in what you can actually sell it for, because it's not that attractive when you sell it and that lease expiration date gets shorter, if that makes sense. But anyways, if you guys have any other further questions in regards to fee simple versus leasehold properties, by all means reach out to me. I would love to go in more detail with you. But today I just wanted to give you a brief overview of what the difference is and why you need to be careful when you find properties that seem a little too good to be true, because they basically are. Anyways, that's it for now, guys. Thanks for checking out this video. If you have any further questions, feel free to hit me up. Otherwise, if you liked the video, share, comment, like, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Anyways, have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Aloha. Hey guys, thanks again for checking out my video. If you guys have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments section down below. I will personally reply to each and every single one of them. So I look forward to hearing from you guys. Also, feel free to subscribe so you can get these videos directly to your inbox. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Mahalo.